parish?
Clarendon.
Clarendon.
Mm-hmm.
Anywhere particular in Clarendon?
Morgan's Pass.
Morgan's Pass in Clarendon.
Mm-hmm. Light of the Valley.
Light of the Valley.
Mm-hmm.
And how did you do in that school?
I did well, you know. I finished school in my sixth form, and then I took my exam. I went to first year to go to take my exam. Obviously, I took the first year exam, and at the time I was 16 when I took that exam.
Okay.
Then I got saved when I was 17.
Okay.
And my father never wanted me to be saved. So he told me if I'm still going to church, he's not sending me back for my second year.
Okay.
So obviously, I determined not to go back from the Lord. So I never took the second year, because in Jamaica, you've got to be paying for exams, books and everything. So obviously when he says that, I made up my mind that I prefer to continue serving the Lord than to take my second year. My ambition at school, I always would love to be a nurse, but at least I never get the chance there. But I start teaching at home. I did a private school with about 40 odd children at the age of 5.
Okay.
And when they became 7, then they go to the elementary school.
Right.
And from that elementary school, if there's any backward children, the teacher always sent them to me.
Okay.
Because my children, they were so advanced that I was teaching. And so obviously, the teacher and I connected, though it was private. But at the time, the MHR, which was Mr. Bradrick, he was running election, and he said if he had won the election, he would have allowed me to go in the basic school under the government.
Oh, brilliant.
No, it was my own intentions.
Yeah, you want to be.
But I've never done it in Jamaica.
Okay.
As I said, in Jamaica, I started to do we call it infant school, 5 to 7. And so that's when I got married then. I got married while I was teaching.
Okay.
That's where he came in and began to trouble my blackboard, you know.
So you got married early, young. Was you married
I got married when I was 24.
24.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's a good.
That wasn't too bad.
No, not at all.
I got married when I was 24, but obviously I was teaching in that space of time, and I was converted then.
Okay.
And your godfather was converted as well. And so we're going to the same church.
Okay.
And then when I do go to church, my mom always said, at the night service, let Edward take you home.
Okay.
I didn't know what that has meant to them. But in the night, he would walk me straight home, and it's a good journey.
Okay.
A part of what I've taught in the first year of my exam, I thought that I could have do that. Mm-hmm. And I was told by the MHR that I've got a good educational background.
Okay.
So that I took upon myself, and I thought I could manage it, and I did by doing that school.
Okay, so there was a definite love of.
I did love teaching, which I do love until now. Yeah. But that was on my background, you know, doing that as a teacher then, though it was a private one, but I did well with them.
Okay, so at the age of 24, or prior to that, you met my godfather, Edward McCalla.
Before 24, we married 24.
So when did you meet him?
We never meet like it's happening here. Like we never go out like, what you call it, courting, to go out for dinner or nothing, because we were not rich. Yeah. We couldn't afford. My father was wealthy, but because he sort of denounced me, we were poor then. So I was in the church 7 years before I met him.
Okay. So look, again, just to put, you say your dad denounced you. Is that because of the religious,
Yeah,
the Christian thing?
the
that he
Christian
wasn't really
background.
feeling? Okay.
Yes, he sort of resented me.
Okay.
And so obviously, when we met, we were very poor. And I was in the church for 7 years.
And what church was that then?
Church of God of Prophecy.
Okay. What area?
In my church was in my district as well. We had a church in our district.
And that's Morgan's Pass.
Morgan's Pass.
In Clarendon.
In Clarendon.
Okay. Do you remember who the pastor was?
Yeah, man.
What was his name?
My first pastor that was Elder Campbell.
Elder Campbell.
And our regional, we would call it now, overseer was P.N. Graham, that's Brother Leslie's daddy. That's Brother Leslie's daddy. He was the regional, but at that time, they would call it district overseer. That's what we're going to get. Yeah.
So, sorry, again, what was his name, the pastor? I'll just capture it. So
the first pastor was Elder Campbell.
Elder Campbell, and then followed by?
Followed by, after Elder Campbell, I wouldn't go down in his detail.
Yeah.
Elder Graham, who was the district overseer, so to speak,
Yeah.
he came and was pastoring the church.
Okay.
He was pastoring the church.
And would you say the church was it a lot of young people?
Oh, yeah.
Full of young people? Was
Yeah.
it lively?
Yeah. Your godfather, he was the VLD leader.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Which stands for Victory,
Victory Leading Band.
and that's over the young.
That was VLB, what they call youth ministry now.
That's right.
But we were called VLB,
Yeah.
Victory Leading Band.
Okay.
And he led a lot of young people.
Okay.
Lot of young people he led, and he took them out on a tour,
Okay.
you know, for a day tour and things like that.
Okay. And just again, he was my love of God. He was a musician. Wasn't
Yeah.
He? So what was? How did he get into playing?
He was doing that before we got together.
Yeah.
But he had just a little ukulele.
Okay.
I don't know if you know what that
Yes,
meant.
yeah.
Just a little ukulele.
Yeah.
And that's what he usually been playing along with, I don't know if you know Brother Thompson. He died now, Hirsch Thompson.
Saxophone? Did he play saxophone? Is it that
Yeah.
Thompson? Yes.
Yes, he always play over here.
Yeah, the saxophone.
And Brother Burrell,
Okay.
well, he was over here, but he wasn't to the church with us.
Okay.
But it was Thompson, your godfather, and Brother Burrell. They were the three musicians in our church.
Okay.
And so they played music together with him, little ukulele, and Thompson with the saxophone, and Burrell with another string guitar like.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they three, they played the music together for long.
So, and again, because all the parishes were quite close, and I'm assuming that Church of God of Prophecy was quite a big organisation. Did they go around to various churches?
Oh gosh. My husband traveled to 14 parishes in Jamaica.
Okay.
And if you had listened in his eulogy, Brother Brown spoke about that. He went to all the different conventions in all the parishes, St. Thomas, all of them, can't name them at the moment. And in the district one, the district churches, they were not close like here.
Okay.
The furthest district one was about local church, was about 5 miles away or more.
Okay.
So we only had that one prophecy in our area.
Okay.
And for us to go to the next one, we never know what it is to drive cars, you know. Our feet was our motor.
Yeah.
So we had to walk long distance to go to revivals or concerts or anything they have. The churches, they join together. And the next nearest one we call that Colonel's Ridge. That's another distance to go. But the entire body circulated all the churches together.
Okay.
We go to them, they come to us. If they are having a revival, then they would say, Wednesday night is Morgan's Pass. That is our church. And every church have a night
Okay.
that you go and moderate it. The music at that time was not like you have it here.
Okay.
It was only your godfather who used that all the time.
Yeah.
And Brother Burrell and Thompson. But sometimes they are not with us in many of the services.
Yeah.
They are they are with us in conventions and things like that. But like revivals, sometimes they are not there. But the most thing, we the ladies have a lot of tambourines. We played our tambourine and it's, oh my gosh, it's sweet. And Brother Ken, mother, Sister Gregory, when she plays a tambourine, you have to stop. Mother Gregory that just died there. She could play tambourine. And when we go up to their church up Red Hills, when we don't need no more music because it's like she's doing the bass in timbre and the next one is on tenor and the tambourine reacted so heavily that everybody began to move in the Holy Spirit. And then obviously we had few like music like that is like a band, what you call it? Ukulele. He always been there with that one. Not strong enough, but he was very good on it.
Okay.
But we mostly have our tambourines.
So the tambourines played a very, very big part in worship.
The tambourine
in music, in the
plays
community.
a broad part
Yeah.
in worshiping.
Yeah.
Because when time of praise and worship, we didn't have, what should I say, exempt out people for that like here. Like said, you would have the praise and worship is certain amount. Everybody sort of engage in praise and worship.
Yeah, I understand.
Everybody took over and do a part.
Yeah.
You know, until we finished that, he delivered over to the minister to do what they have to do.
Brilliant. So just to, okay, coming off from that, you came to England.
Yeah. I came to England because my husband left me in Jamaica to come to him. So you would have to ask me why he came. Is that correct?
So did you not want to come to England?
No.
Oh, you didn't want to come?
No.
See, that's worth documenting. Okay. Why didn't you want to come to England?
I didn't want to come to England because I didn't want to go in the hair.
Okay.
And my mom says, you've got to go because your husband is over there. I said, if we could ride a donkey, Mom, to go, I would go. But I'm not climbing up in that sky.
Okay, so it was a fear of
It was a
flying.
fear of flying.
Okay.
Why I never wanted to come.
Okay. But if it wasn't about the fear of flying, what was the drive to come to England? Is what I'm trying to...
My drive is because he came before me, my husband. Obviously, he came for 5 years.
Okay.
And I would have stayed there for the 5 years, but it extended. And after he came, 11 months after he came, he sent for me.
Okay.
And so I was to come because he was here.
Okay.
And obviously, we were so closely attached in that time as young married people and everything like that. So he had was to send, and I make up my mind to come because my parents made up their mind to look after the children.
And how many children was that? How many children did you have before you decided to make that big step?
I had 5.
5 children.
I had 5 because I left the 5 there before I make an attempt to come over.
Yeah.
And the attempt I made was because they were well cared for by my mom and dad.
Yeah.
And if that hadn't been in
Yes.
that place, I wouldn't have left them.
Yeah.
But my mom and dad looked after them even better than I do.
So what year was that you came?
I came here 1961.
1961. So that was a part of the huge Windrush generation.
I don't think I was in the Windrush.
I think, well, you was a part, I mean, from what the part of the generation that came from...
Could
the
be, yeah.
was a part of that Windrush time.
Yeah.
So when you came here, there's no doubt, based upon what you said already, church and the community was very, very much a part of your life.
Church was...
So when you came from Jamaica, okay, Gotti was already here.
He was already here.
Where did he settle when he came?
He settled with T.A. McCalla.
Okay, the late T.A. McCalla.
The late T.A. McCalla
What area was that?
in Goulds Hill Road.
Right, so this is Handsworth.
Handsworth.
Handsworth, off Soho Road.
That's
Goulds
right,
Hill Road.
Goulds Hill Road.
And that's where
That's where-
Watson was as well. Oh,
That
that
is
right?
there until now. Well, that's where my husband stopped with Brother McCalla,
Okay.
because if you want me to say this, it was Brother McCalla who introduced him to come,
Okay. Right.
because he came to look for us at home,
Yeah.
and he saw that we really have a good mind, but situation wasn't, and having the children and everything. So he wrote him to say, come over.
Okay.
And then obviously, he didn't send for him financially,
Yeah.
but he would take care of him.
Okay.
So when he came, he was at Goldsey Road with TA.
Right. So, okay, so plotting this journey, so you came from Goldsey Road. So when you came 11 months later, is
Yeah.
that where you,
No.
so where did Gotti then move to?
When I came 11 months after, my husband was in a room with late Godfrey McCalla. So there was no space for both of us then. So we had was to leave he had was to leave Goldsey Road before I came,
Yeah.
and rented a room in Linwood Road in Answorth.
Okay, so we're still very much part of the Handsworth area.
Yeah, we were still in Answorth area,
Yeah.
rightly.
So you came over
I came over straight into Linwood Road,
Linwood Road.
because he had was to look at for that place before I can't come, because there was no room in the inn then, so to speak.
Understand. So,
You must,
do you remember it?
my God, man. I came here in September,
Wow.
and that was winter. And then he bought me a big coat, and I said, I'm not wearing this thing. I don't used to that. So I went out without it. But when the cold hit me, obviously, I had also begin to wear those heavy things. But the weather was enormous. I couldn't take it. And I actually wanted was to go back. I definitely wanted was to go back. But as I pursue on, I get more involved in the condition of the weather and things like that.
So, okay, so the weather was a huge change to totally different climate to the Caribbean.
Altogether, you must be.
Or a guinea.
It was so strange, my friend. When I came here and I went down to the shop, I came back and said the shop closed. Because if the doors were closed, you have to open to go in. And we never used to that home. So when I got back home, I says to my husband, they don't open the shop yet. So he said, you've got to push the door. So I had to go back to do what he says. And that was very hard for me at the time. And I don't know if I should say this, but most of my letters that I sent back home, I put them in the litter box. Litter, not letter.
Oh,
If you follow me.
yeah.
Because I thought it marked letterbox, not knowing what litter box meant then. And so a few of my letters went in that box. So I had to rewrite them and get the knowledge to know that litter is different from letter. And those were sort of a bit of obstacle to me at the beginning when I just came. It was a bit of obstacle because I never used to that. But obviously, I could pick up things very quickly. So I get adopted to all those, what I was not used to. So that was part of my coming here.
So how did you find settling in with a new community of people?
It was hard.
Yeah.
It was hard.
Can you share any experiences of?
On the buses, when I came here, I went straight into work at Alam Hospital. My job was ready because of a friend I've got there. And it was audacious. The people, they look at you like you are inferior, and they don't really talk to you and such like. So it was a bit confusing to me. And at least I'm seeing more white faces than my color. And then I feel sort of abstract because they are not saying anything to me. And they would sort of say sometimes, you black, and all like that. So it was not an easy time for me at the time. But obviously, I started to work at the hospital, and I worked with some white people. And then the manager of that hospital got to love me as a white woman because she was a Christian. And I came here as one. So she get in touch with me and begin to love me and talk with me. And she always says to me, while I was doing my job, says, "Oh, Daphne, if Olive can do it, you can do it." And so she was an inspiration to me. And the man one, I don't know if I should say this,
No, talk.
he was his top manager, named Mr. Pratty. And he always wanted to take me home. But he sort of I don't know if he fancied black people or not, but he would say, "I will take you home." But I never let him do that. Because he did it to a black girl, and that girl says, well, he became familiar.
Okay.
And so because of that, I resented. I just go on the bus. Yeah,
The community of people like going to church.
Yeah, oh yeah. Because those days, church was top form.
Yeah.
And you are anxious.
Yeah.
You definitely want to go to church. And then, when I came here, your godfather, he was the leader for Lady Pool Church. And obviously, and Golf Road. There was a center down at Golf Road that he had under Elder Gregory.
Okay.
Under Elder Gregory.
So so as you gone there, because again, the dynamics, and from an area point of view, you came from Jamaica, you settled in Handsworth, and quite a few people that came settle in those areas.
Mm-hmm. I moved away from Handsworth because I was living after I've left Linwood Road, I came to Westminster Road.
Right.
And I lived there with this wonderful Christian lady, Sister Johnson, which is Mark's godmother.
Okay.
Because I left there with Mark I have Mark there. I had Mark come right there as a baby because I left Linwood Road for obvious reason.
Yeah.
And came to Westminster Road with Sister Johnson. And when Mark was born, he came back from hospital right to Westminster Road.
So that was, can you remember what year that was?
62.
62.
Mm-hmm.
So in 62, I obviously started to develop a community they were all Christians around that time. And Westminster Road, based upon from a Church of God of Prophecies history, was a place that had conventions. And I remember when I was younger, my mum saying to me that because I'm quite interested, how did you because you didn't know my mum.
No, I didn't know your mum.
You were from the same parish?
Yeah.
My mum was Clarendon.
I know.
Okay, but you knew T.A. McCalla
from home.
Okay, so sometimes when a lot of the people came here, you already had friends that you were coming to.
That's right.
But not all of them came to people. They had to kind of come here and set up. So how then did you? Because from Handsworth to South Birmingham, right? Which I know there was Brother Gregory was Erdington.
Yes.
And then you had Sister Hall and Brother Hall and Sister Easy.
Yes.
And those Brother McIntyre, but they was more New Testament. How did you get that relationship with my mum? How did that come in? Because you mentioned Westminster Road.
Yes.
How did you all meet up?
I usually go to Westminster Road, and I get in touch with your mother at the convention was there under Brother Pruitt, and I never get so much used to her there, but we had what you call week of meeting, and then we always go there. But I never really get interacted so much with your mom. It was after we left out and my husband came to Sparkill, and that's where, no, not Sparkill, no, at 2.
Foreman's Road.
Foreman's Road. We came to Foreman's Road, and so your mom and us all was at Ladypool Road. And your mom did love how your godfather mother operated, because he was very powerful, you know, your goddy. And so there was some sort of things were sort of not doing so well. I don't know if I should go there.
No, we can edit it back.
Okay. The people at Ladypool, after Elder Gregory made my husband to be the leader for the people, I know, they know I live in an airport. Yeah. Made him lead there.
So Elder Gregory was where?
Elder Gregory was at Ladypool.
Ladypool Road. So,
That is Ken's daddy.
yeah, that Ladypool Road.
He was at Ladypool, massive church that was. And so Elder Gregory appointed my husband as the leader for the people while he was the pastor.
So just to, again, this is quite interesting because now the movement had moved from Handsworth.
Yeah,
so it was coming over the south side of
That's
Birmingham,
right, yeah.
which is quite important because I think your generation created that movement in that area, which was more, I would say, was the Methodist churches, was more so that side. So the Pentecostal evangelical church movement started with your direction over that side of Birmingham.
That's right.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fair to say.
So we came over from Handsworth to Ladypool
Yeah.
Road. And obviously that's Elder Gregory was the one that does the surveying around to get in people and revivals, and people comes in until the church was a big church.
Okay.
And that's where I met your mom,
Okay.
at Ladypool Road.
So, mom, okay, you started to meet mom, and then children. So all the parents there started to have children. So the church was quite big.
Yeah, it was a massive church.
It was a big church.
I can hardly name some of them now, like the Baileys and the Spencers, all these people, the Hall, and the English. He was our driver there and things like that. So the church became massive.
So then you had, over that side, you had George Street as well, didn't you?
George Street, where Brother Williams.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was that side as well. wasn't it?
That
So
was
you had
that was over the other side. Ladypool in Sparkbrook, and Brother Williams was over in Basaleith.
Borsaley.
You should remember that, man.
Yeah. You gotta try cook, see, let's see what we are doing.
I tell you, you know this. Don't test me.
But
Yeah.
the history is, see, if we don't put this history down,
Yeah.
it will be forgotten.
It gone out of context,
You
yeah.
know, and you know, I know we can edit this part, but Brother Williams, he's gone. He's not here. Nobody's written.
Oh, they're all gone.
Brother Gregory's gone.
He's gone.
Nobody's written.
And he did a good work, Elder Gregory
He's
did.
done a massive work. And unless we document this, I mean, I didn't know that TA invited Gotti to come here. I didn't know.
No.
You know,
And
that's
if you had read my,
yeah, I know. Yeah, the eulogy.
you find where I placed that.
Yeah. But unless you was at the funeral, you'd never know that. And unless we have this conversation,
That's right.
we'd never know.
That's right.
You know, so
So all that was mentioned there because he was the first person that people thought we never knew him. I knew him from home.
from home, yeah.
Which a lot of people didn't know.
No, we didn't know that.
Didn't know. So that's why I placed that in Facebook as my tribute at his funeral.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
when we got over to Ladypool Road. Again, my fondest memories of Gotti was playing, and I think he was playing. The last time I heard him play was when I was about 17, 18, and he was pastoring Mount Pleasant, and I came to a service. It was a revival or a meeting that I had to come to because Mom says, you know, if we was having revival,
you have to go.
I had no choice. So if Mom put up her hand, that meant I was going.
Yeah,
right?
there, yeah.
And we came down, and then I remember fast forwarding that churches were split into areas.
Yes.
So we became Area 7.
Hey, that's right.
So area was Sparkhill, Acott Street.
Yeah.
George Street.
Yes.
So all of those churches. So if we had like little revivals.
All
And I
those.
remember coming, and it was in Highgate School. And it was a classroom.
Yes.
We came in.
Upstairs.
We came in, and I could not, at the age of 17, I must have been. So I left school, or still at school. And I could not comprehend the way and how full a banjo was in that, and there was no other instrument.
That was the only.
It was tambourines and the banjo, and I could not get in my head how that instrument allowed the room to feel so. It felt like there was a band.
Yeah.
Was in there, and it was just Gotti playing the banjo.
Yes.
On his own, accompanied by tambourines, and that really inspired me.
Yeah.
So much that I can't realize at the time how much it did inspire my musical journey, because my late brother Trevor, as you know,
I know,
spoke fondly of Gotti and how he taught him how to use certain chords.
Yes.
In playing along to choruses and church songs, and to be disciplined in how you play.
Yeah.
That the music is just as important as the songs.
Yeah, you have to go over the song.
Yeah, and how I think he was probably one of the first music ministers.
I so believe, yeah.
That we may give a title to today.
Yeah.
But he really appreciated the importance of music and worship. Without one, they all play an important part in worshiping God. And for me, I, to this day, I'll always be indebted to my Godfather because of how he aroused that awareness of music and the importance of music within worship. But again, playing the banjo.
Yeah. Well, with the banjo, you never asked me how he get to play it.
No.
Nobody taught him. He's never been taught by no one. He teaches himself. Like you would have notes and things to go by, no way. That was an inspiration from God to him, that he could master the string without anybody said A, B, C or whatever. It was so instrumental for him to do it on his own. And he graduated from a little ukulele on his own until you see the one he had, that American one. He mastered it until he died, without anybody come to say this string, that or the other. Nobody taught him. He taught himself. And he did well on it. He did very well. And come back to Mount Pleasant, as you were saying. It was not you alone who impressed him at that time. We were at church one Sunday, and it was the high police, whatever they call him, the high one though, was passing by, heard that music, and he came right up into Mount Pleasant Church. And he was a bit frightened, Dad was, seeing a police came in the uniform. And he stood by the door, and we stopped. He stopped, and he came in. And he stood up and said, "You are impressing me with this music." And he was saying, "I wish you could get some more young people off the street to be participant in what I've heard." And Mount Pleasant wasn't a big congregation, but the Holy Spirit in that church let everything extended so far that even a police officer could come in and said, "You are doing a good work. And if you continue this and the younger generation comes in, that would be something to get them off the street." So it didn't impress you alone, but it impresses even the higher authority, the way he played his music. He did it with all his heart. And it impresses a lot of people. So.
What songs? What songs
So,
did you sing in the song?
So, what were your songs of choice?
Well, too much to tell.
A few songs that really, to address what we're going through now.
Songs and even artists.
Yeah.
Interesting what artists you would get the gram. Is the gramophone?
Yeah, did you have a gramophone? Did you play gramophone?
No, no.
at home?
Oh, okay. So he wasn't. Okay, cool. That's
No,
good.
no.
Do you used to listen to anybody?
I listened to gramophone. My father home had it. And I listened. Brother Taylor have it?
Johnny Taylor?
He had a flutine. Is it? No, no. Gramophone.
No.
I've
Or-
never listened to any here.
No.
My
Okay.
father did have one at
Okay.
home that he plays.
What was one of your favourite songs? Or
In those days,
name a few songs that
I am
you
under
liked.
the rock. The rock is higher than high.
Yeah.
Jehovah hide me.
Yeah.
I'm under the rock. Go tell my enemy I'm under the rock. Jehovah hides me. I'm under the rock.
Okay. Another one?
What a wonderful thing to be free from sin and of Christ within.
Yeah.
To be made a joint here with Jesus, my Lord. What a wonderful, wonderful thing.
Okay. What was one of his favourite songs?
God, his favorite song. Come unto me. Hear the blessed Savior calling the oppressed. Oh, ye heavy laden, come to me and rest. When he plays that and that string,
Yeah.
my God, he loves that.
Beautiful. And
Also, you mentioned a couple of other musicians. What other musicians were playing around about that time in England in the 60s?
yeah. So when okay, that's quite interesting because you mentioned brother
Even Mother Gregory playing the tambourine in his
Sister
you know,
Gregory?
Mother Gregory, yeah.
But you mentioned because I never met him, but he emigrated to America.
Thompson.
And
Thompson, he died now. Brother Thompson,
sax, yeah,
he played the saxophone.
saxophone.
Mm-hmm.
And if I remember correctly, didn't Brother Williams play trombone?
Brother Williams,
Yeah.
I can't remember if he had. Oswald.
Ozzy's dad.
Oswald plays guitar.
Yeah, so we had Ozzy, bad boy. He played guitar.
Don't register that.
No, not bad boy as in like no,
Okay.
nice, no. That's not. I don't mean like no. We don't really like that. He meant good,
Oh, he was a
yeah.
good guitarist.
Who else was there around that time?
Hey.
Guitar, music, from the 60s.
Guitar.
Yeah, musicians from the 60s.
Oh, musicians.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the drummers were there, which is music.
Yeah, who?
Les Byrne was one.
Les-
You know, you just
I
pull
know,
me.
but it's good to come from
we
you.
need to go for, so in the 60s when you're doing the revival meetings, who were the musicians that you would see playing, who were playing in the band alongside with your husband?
Yeah, it will be Oswald.
Ozzy, yeah.
He always been there, and Thompson as well
Yeah.
would be there, and Trevor came in.
Trevor, yeah.
Yeah, you came late,
Yeah,
but you come.
Yeah.
yeah.
There was Wayne, wasn't there?
Wayne Williams,
Yeah.
he played the guitar,
Yeah,
I think.
bass,
with
yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
It was Glenn.
And Glenn as well.
And didn't we also have from Chapel Street side, there was somebody that played drums?
In Chapel Street.
Yeah, who was the current overseer? Didn't Ted Roy play drums?
Ted Roy always, but he wasn't an overseer that time.
No, I'm just saying, didn't he play drums like in
Oh,
the
yeah.
60s, early 70s? Wasn't he one of the musicians?
Get back. Yeah, Ted Roy. Yes, because he spoke about that not long ago.
Yeah. Also, again from that era was that I remember.
Who else? You know who else played?
Brother English used to play guitar as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
Brother English.
But the English mostly was playing guitar just in Ladywood, in Ladywood Church and Haycox Green.
Yeah.
He played there, but there was not a lot of musicians until Trevor and you and Les Byrne and all those came in. Most of those musicians in the 60s, they mostly play in conventions. Brighton and all those different places, they go with their music. But it's a sort of maybe a little revival. You wouldn't find, it's mostly tambourines, along with that banjo and things like that. But the broader aspect of the church is like conventions, all the musicians, them, even Oswald, it would be more Brighton and them places.
Quite interesting as well. The songbooks. What were the songbooks?
Oh gosh.
Sing out of? Because There was
The song which was Songs of Glorious Praise.
Hymns of Glorious Praise, yeah.
You have the one there, the Banner Hymn, and the one I found for you, what you call it again? What do you call
Is it Soul
Soul Stirring.
Soul Stirring.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, and there was a Sankey, wasn't there? There was a Sankey.
We use Sankey, but mostly in homes prayer meeting.
And redemption songs.
And the redemptions.
The Red Book, yeah.
Yes, the redemption. We use all those kind, because those were what you call really Pentecostal songs. Not like this today, which some of them I can't even bother. I can't even sing them. No, cut it out. It's true, but you will chop it out anyway.
No, we're going to keep the whole of this section.
Just
chop up what we need.
Yeah, you chop out what you need. But our days, we move under the leading of the Holy Ghost. You don't find people that shake them body if not the Holy Spirit, you know what I mean? But today, it's a different story. Cut out one or good.
That's a soundbite right there. That's a soundbite right there.
You want the truth, isn't it?
It is the truth.
So I mean, I'm happy with
What you have got, yeah.
But,
A whole lot.
yeah.
Even watching me and Dad sit in that house playing the guitar, you could see me, the banjo.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, he's playing, and music impact me a lot.
And when we say the music, so what about how has gospel music? What has that done to you?
A lot.
Okay.
Because the music help us who are singing to motivate more.
Yeah.
If you are not without the music, we still sing, but the music help to uplift you in a good way. So music to me was really substantial, even now. But in those days, it was very inspiring.
One question still. Obviously, it wasn't easy coming over here. Would you say that, obviously, there's days where there's rough days, was music helps you get through them times ultimately? You get the banjo out and everyone's just had facing the racism, the oppression of out there, and gathering and singing. Did it help lift your spirit?
Yes, music does. And then we did have this big, what you call radiogram.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we did this big everlasting radiogram that he did have the Stella.
Oh, it has.
Yes, that's it, yeah.
That's what you was asking. What was played on there?
All the
12
inch, all the vinyls were played on there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So on that, that's what we was asking. So do you remember any of the titles, or even one that was played on that stereogram?
Jim Reeves.
I was going to say
Jim Reeves, yes. And
assume you like Jim Reeves.
Jim Reeves, until now, I've got some of Jim Reeves. He was great. I think that's the only one I can remember now. But we did have that big Stella, and you get all those good. We have the tapes, then we have the recorder for them, and you put them in and play them. And until now, I've got some. Whole one.
Have a look at them.
I've got a lot of the tapes. Those they could want to turn them into whatever. But I can get them now on all these different things,
I mean, I'm good,
You're good. Yeah, I'm good, man. Good. That's interesting, man. That's interesting.
Did Mum tell you just before you closed that she cut a record herself back in the day?
No.
Yes, I did.
I come all this way and not hear that.
I don't know. Yeah,
I don't know where that is,
Back in the days, you could have gone into a booth and you just cut a tune and get it.
Where? Cut a tune? Where?
Yeah, man.
Where?
We were kids at school and she came on with this, what's the small one?
I can't.
45?
On vinyl.
Don't mess up.
I can't.
No, I've searched high and low.
I don't know where it is.
And she cut a tune, no music.
Do you know the words?
I can't even remember the words now, you know.
Because I could play it. We could rearrange that.
That was, I just came into my head. Yeah, I was at school.
What was it? This one?
What was the words?
Somewhere beyond the blue, there's a mansion for me.
I'm sure that was
Somewhere beyond the blue, there's a man.
that was it.
I think so.
But it was one of those booths that you just go in, probably put in your shilling or whatever it was, and Mum went in and
You see you.
Yeah.
Wow.
No music.
No, just my voice.
Let me hear it. Let me hear it.
Somewhere beyond the blue, there's a mansion for me. Somewhere beyond the blue, I'm happy to be. I can't remember it, you know. Somewhere beyond the blue, somewhere. I hit that song. Somewhere beyond the blue, there's a mansion for me. Somewhere beyond the blue, I'm longing to be. Jesus saved me from a sin and set the captive free. Somewhere beyond the blue, somewhere. I don't know where that here is.
You got that, man. That's good. You know, I'm gonna rewrite that for you.
You know what, Ray? When you said that, you know, my mind is, where could they find this bit? But it's one of those things that just disappeared.
I don't know where, yeah.
I don't think we've seen that.
Somewhere along the blue.
Just shot a music video.
Somewhere along the blue, there's a mansion for me.